Hello and welcome back to Leah Tribe. Today I'm just going to be giving you guys a little bit of an update on myself and my channel and all my equipment, as well as talking about seasonal depression and to just talk about some upcoming videos to give you guys a little bit of a teaser as to what I'm thinking about writing. But yeah, let's start with today's video. So I know that no one really watches these videos except for like my parents and maybe some curious friends, and to you guys I just want to say hi. But I know that no one really consistently watches my channel, but I have no doubt that no one would have really noticed that I didn't really post for a few months, like 2 or 3 months. And I want to talk a little bit more about why today, not because it's really relevant in the bigger picture or that anyone really minds or anything like that. I just think that it sort of has to do with what I normally talk about on my channel, so I want to talk more about that. So my university work really picked up towards the end of the semester and my anxiety kind of just went through the roof. And as I've mentioned before in other videos, when I get like that, I kind of go on autopilot mode and everything else in my life kind of gets put on hold. And this has sort of become a natural part of my life. I'm an up and down kind of a person, and my environment can really heavily influence my mood. So often I go up and down and in and out of this bad mental state. And I think that this happens to a lot of people. I think that most people, whether it be at school, university, work, or even home life, experience things that affect their overall well-being. Our lives run in these annual cycles and we go through periods of high stress and periods of low stress. So even though this can be referred to as a seasonal depression, it refers to seasons of life and phases that we go in and out of, not just the season of the year. That being said, winter does have a massive effect on me personally, and because I live in the southern hemisphere, winter is about between May and August. The worst part of winter is usually around June, July. And this happens to be when my mid-year exams are, and this is right sort of in the middle of the winter period. The highest sort of period of stress is exactly when it's sort of the coldest part of winter. And for me, when it gets cold, it makes it harder to get out of bed. I end up spending all of my time working and stressing and trying to cope with all of the stress. I'm also trying to not allow my studies to get away from me. I try to eat healthy, I try to exercise and do all of the things that you're supposed to do as a healthy human being. And because of the way I am and sort of how easily I get stressed and anxious, I end up crumbling underneath the pressure. And this is something that kind of happens every year around winter time when I get very stressed. It's tough, but it's life. I end up losing my balance every year for a few months, but with time and effort, it goes away. So that's kind of where I've been at for the last few months when I haven't been posting videos. I've just been in a rut and trying to deal with everything as it came and not really focusing too much on things outside of just what I need to do day to day. And this has always worked out fine. It's just something that I go through. It's something that I've learned from and something that I've come to expect. And I've realized that everyone goes through this from time to time, even if it's not exactly the same situation that I find myself in. Although I'm more sensitive to this than the average person, I think, and it kind of sucks and makes me feel apart from others, ultimately all it means is that I need to be ready for it and I need to know what to do when it happens. The advice that I want to give you guys today has to do with overcoming seasonal depression, or this sort of phase where you feel like you're in a rut, you're not enjoying the things that you're normally enjoying, you're feeling tired, and there's a whole bunch of different depression symptoms and we all get different combinations and different ways of experiencing them. So that would be a good thing to look up. I will be doing videos in the future just to do more definitions of mental illnesses and stuff like that, but you can look them up very easily. It's easy to find a list. Often you'll find that you have more than one of them, especially if you are in this sort of depressive phase that I've been describing in this video. So my advice is going to be to battle with this and to get yourself back to where you need to be. So my first piece of advice is to know your priorities. For me, mine are my health and my well-being. So that would include physical, emotional, and mental aspects of what well-being means to me. It includes my university work, which is something that heavily influences my future and my anxiety sort of around my future. And thirdly, my closest relationships, including my family and my friends. So those 3 things are the most important to me, and that is what I try to focus on. And everything else, like hobbies, events, or any actions that might take away from these aspects of my life, are pushed to the side so I can keep moving forward productively. Having this plan ready in my head makes me certain that things will get better and eases some of my anxiety about being in control of my life and where I'm going and what I'm doing. Advice number 2 would be to change your perspective. Just because you feel hopeless doesn't mean that things are hopeless. So it's important to kind of take a step back and to reapproach your situation from a non-emotional mindset. Just because you feel bad in the moment doesn't mean that that feeling and how you're feeling about that situation is accurate about how the situation really is. This can be really tough, especially if you're caught in sort of a long-term overly emotionally charged disposition. This has definitely happened to me before, where I just feel emotional all the time and like my head's racing all the time. And this is not really a good mental space to be in if you want to make big decisions. So my advice would be to kind of stay away from decisions if you're not able to sort of take a step back from stuff and to reassess your situation to get a more realistic idea of what's up. Advice number 3. This may seem a little bit obvious, but you need to work hard. Nothing in life worth getting comes for free. If you don't put any effort in, you won't get anything out. And if you want to see a difference in your life, it will only come from applying yourself and working hard, not from luck or even from other people. But remember that your best effort on a bad day won't look the same as your best effort on a good day. But knowing that you gave it your all can also do your headspace a lot of good and give you a feeling of accomplishment. So it's important to be realistic about your goals and how you want to accomplish them. But with trying comes failure and setbacks, so don't let that discourage you. It's just a part of finding your way. Advice number 4, and this will be my last piece of advice, and I think that this is a very simple one, but one that can be really difficult to approach, and that would be to let others know how you're feeling. Obviously, I'm very comfortable with talking about mental well-being and myself and how I feel, and I try to look at my issues objectively. And when I know I'm in a rut, I try to let people close to me know so they can just kind of know where I'm at. So if I behave differently, they can know why. But I know that this is easier said than done. It's hard to talk about stuff like this, especially if it's maybe the first time that you're doing this and the first time that you might be talking to someone about stuff like that. And you don't know the reaction you're going to get. You might get rejected. They might not react the way you're hoping they will. But I do intend on making a video soon talking about this subject specifically, just how to talk about your mental well-being, which words to use, how to help people understand you better. So if that's something you guys are interested in, please feel free to ask questions because I am writing that video right now. So any suggestions would be very welcome because I'd like to know what other people wonder about. So I will be putting a list together, but if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to add to my video. But basically what I want to say with this piece of advice is that if you don't risk anything, you won't gain anything. So you have to try to reach out to people, even if it's hard. So there you go. Those are my 4 pieces of advice if you are struggling with seasonal depression. Remember that seasonal depression by definition is only temporary, so you will get through it. It just may take some time. I hope that this advice is helpful to you. My approach to this topic comes from having been so scared in the past that I would never be able to live a normal life with my mental conditions. But I've realized that so long as I do my best and know the general direction I'm working towards, I can get through anything and be happy on the other side. And I hope that this advice helps you to work towards your happiness as well. Thank you so much for watching my video. Leave me a comment below to let me know what you think and if you have anything you want to add on to something that I said in this video. I have a whole bunch of interesting topics coming up, so please stay tuned because I'm on holiday, so I have a little bit of time to do a bit of extra video making before all the stress starts eating away at me again. All jokes aside, I do have a bit of extra time on my hands at the moment and I'm having a lot of fun. I have new equipment. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram channel. I think I mentioned that in my vlog. I've been trying to film this video specifically for a while, but I have been writing and just generally trying to work on new ideas. So one of them would be talking about mental illness. Another one is talking more about definitions of mental illness, how to kind of know whether you have them or not, and to sort of talk more in detail about different sort of subsections of mental illness, including anxiety and depression. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want to know anything specifically. I am loving writing about all of this and I'm loving my new equipment. I am so excited to release this video. I think finally my footage is going to be usable. I hope so. This is the 4th time I've filmed this stupid video. So I'm really glad to have it out the way so I can move on to more topics to give to you guys. So hopefully I'll be producing more videos within the next few weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Malia Tries and I will see you guys next time. I can't talk anymore. Okay, I think that's it.